Hello Bediddlers, welcome to part 4 of my Mega Man 1 playthrough. We are now going after the big cheese, Dr. Wily himself. Here he is, and this is where the game ramps up in difficulty. But first, Dr. Wily giving us the eyebrows. Now here we are, first stage, and you're going to want to use your ice weapon here. The reason being is that as we progress, we see one of these, and they take so many hits that there is no point killing them. Just freeze them, and if you freeze it, normally you'd freeze it and go under it, or get hit, freeze it, and either you can go under it, or if you freeze it too low, you can switch to your weapon and kill it. And there are 3 of these big eyes, these big enemies, and each one can kill you in 3 hits. So yeah, that's a problem. And so I just recommend don't try and kill them, just freeze them. Can I fit under there? I can! Oh, that was satisfying. Wait for this one to come over here, and that positions itself very well. I should point out that I really like the music in this stage. It's a simple piece, but I like it. It's very atmospheric. Let's listen to a bit. Yeah, I really like it. Great piece. And that's the way it should be. These are the final levels, and you want a bit of atmosphere, and I think it does it well. Here we're blocked by blocks, and you can either use the Thunder Beam, or chuck him away with Gutsman's weapon. Let's see if the glitch happens. Oh no, it doesn't. Sometimes it will pick up an extra block there that doesn't exist. Now we come to these fire pillars here. You could do it without the ice beam, but I would recommend freezing them and defying the laws of physics. This is a bit tricky, because sometimes you can freeze it too high and block yourself. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now there is a health pickup up there, which we could, to correct our the damage we took from the big eye, but it's very tricky to get. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, that's a tricky jump, so that actually went quite well. Watch out for the spikes, of course. Now, you're going to want to equip your elect beam, or let's use the fire weapon, actually. I could demonstrate that. This is what you get from Fireman. It's very good, actually. Very powerful. Gives you a little fire shield, and it's quite cheap as well. You're going to want to equip this, because we're going to get blindsided by some flea enemies, some up here. There we go. And I still got blindsided anyway. Health up there if you need it, although it's guarded by those little mushrooms. Some more blocks that we need to remove. Thunder Beam or Gutsman's weapon, as always. Now, this screen down here, it's if you're not careful, that Bullet Bill can knock you into the spikes. And if you kill it, well, it will just keep respawning. So I would recommend freezing it. Otherwise, he'll knock you into the spikes like that. Let's try that again. Ice Beam equipped. Ooh, I'm not really happy with that. You need to position it just right. In fact, let's just keep going. Now down here, we come to those awful platforms from Iceman's level. And we're just going to skip these using the the Magnet Beam. Because they're quite a pain to traverse. It's very difficult to do this without this Magnet Beam. Now, if you go up here, you will notice that there's a room that, we can't jump it. What do we do here? We have to use the Magnet Beam. Now, the good news is, if you go back down, those weapon pickups will respawn, and so you can keep doing that until you think you have enough to clear this obstacle here. So let's do this, shall we? 1, 2, 3. Be very careful here, because if you run out, well, you just can't clear this screen. If you find that you can't reach the ladder, you can go back down that gap. Although I think maybe that leads you into the spikes, but you don't really have much choice. We now come to potentially the most infamous boss in Mega Man history, and it is the Yellow Devil. First things first, move all the way to the right, because these yellow blocks are to come zooming at you. And there is a trick to this fight. It looks fast, it looks daunting, but first, equip the Thunder Beam. And I missed! He's only vulnerable in his red eye. And equip the Thunder Beam, because that does the most damage. Don't use your regular weapon, and I'll upload a separate video explaining why. The trick here is on each pass, I missed again. Dear oh dear oh dear. The trick here is on the fourth jump, 1, 2, 3, your fourth jump should be a big jump so that you can clear those 2 blobs quite easily. There we go. But basically, a Thunder Beam, 1 Thunder Beam hit will do 4 damage, and that's good. Use your regular weapon, you'll do 2 damage, and your regular weapon can't always reach him, so that's very unwise to use that. So use the Thunder Beam, as I'm doing here. But yeah, your first time fighting it, it's a tough fight indeed. It's quite daunting, quite intimidating, I think. I like the music though. A little bit monotonous, but I like it, it works. One more will do the trick. He hasn't hit me yet, which I'm very pleased about. Although I don't want to jinx myself. One more hit, and there he goes. Takes practice, but it can be done. And I actually like that fight. It's a nice fight, actually. In fact, I quite like that first level, apart from the Iceman platforms. More excellent music, which I do enjoy. Equip your Elect Beam, because it's easy to take these helicopter enemies out. Now, I've only got 1 life left, but we're going to carry on regardless. Because you probably do want as many lives as you can for this place. Because it's quite treacherous. And let's just say we may bump into some old friends. Some energy pickups there, but there is an invisible gap, and I fell into it like a fool. Well, hello, Cutman. Pleasure to see you again. Now, we don't have blocks to chuck in his face this time, so we're going to have to use a regular weapon. Luckily, you do 3 damage with your regular weapon, and Cutman himself is pretty easy. You shouldn't have any trouble with him. There you go. We didn't take a hit. He's simple enough. But the stage continues, and this is not a checkpoint. So if you die here, then you will go back to the beginning of the stage. Kill that thing there. Now watch out when you go for this, because Mega Man is a little bit slippy. So it's easy to slide off getting that. Kill these screw bombers. I don't know why there are spikes there. I'm not sure how you could be expected to fall into those, but there they are anyway. Get ourselves a refill. Now down here, can you guess who's down here? Well, I can tell you. I'm equipping the cutting weapon. It is 3-hit kill Electman, but our cutter kills him in 3 hits as well. I should actually, a little tip, you know, if you think Electman's going to hit you, get hit by his body. That does less damage. But yeah, 3 hits and he's gone. No checkpoint yet, by the way. No, if we die here, we will go back and we will have to refight Electman and Cutman. Although those fights aren't too bad. If you have the, you know... They're not too bad if you use a rolling cutter, and Cutman himself is not too bad at all. a life there, which we can pick up quite simply with the magnet beam. Let's use, we'll use the elect beam again to get rid of these Susies instantaneously. Little energy pickup there. That's what we want. I believe we have now reached a checkpoint. It was further up. A energy pickup there, which we're gonna. Oh, we got a life there. Excellent. Nice big energy, weapon pickup. That's always helpful. We are going to fill our. Let me think. We'll get some more electricity. Now we are very nearly at the boss of this stage. A tricky boss. And again, this boss should be. Let's just say he should be quite familiar. I would recommend using the fire weapon. Electricity is also pretty good here. Now let's see who we are fighting this time. Very jazzy room, bit like a disco, isn't it? Quite like that, but we're not here to dance. Although we could do. It's you! Yes, you're fighting the Mega Man clone, and he's quite aggressive. He will fire immediately like that. And I don't really know what his pattern is, to be perfectly honest with you. You just be as aggressive. Just be aggressive. Keep him away from you. That's what you want. And that's all you can do. Be aggressive, and you should be okay. Although I'm running out of the fire here. And he's gone. That was a bit of a mess, that fight, but you get the idea. But with that, we have beaten the first 2 stages of Wily's outrageous fortress. And I enjoy doing it very much so. But for now, that's all we have time for. And I will see you in the next stage. The music's changed. More ominous now. We're nearly there. Hello, Bediddlers. Before I go, I just wanted to mention an important element that I forgot about. So this boss here is called the Copy Robot, which means that they essentially copy your abilities. And so if you don't equip anything, and you use your regular weapon, he will use the regular weapon on you. Only does 1 damage though. Likewise, Ice, he will have Ice, although Ice doesn't do any damage whatsoever, so that's a no-go. Guts, there are no blocks, so there's no point using it. Leg Beam, 2 damage, so not a bad option here. And yes, you can use the bomb on him as well if you want. I think that only does 1 damage. I mean, it's so useless. Can you imagine fighting him with it? If somebody wants to post a response beating the Copy Robot with the bomb, please do it. And last but not least, the Rolling Cutter. But yeah, your best bet probably is the Firestorm, because yeah, if he gets near you, your shield will hit him. So yeah, go with that one, I think. Now, if he hits me 1 more, I'll be dead. But luckily he didn't do that, and that's another victory for us. And I shall see you next time.